Hi, welcome back to John's Random Review. Today we're going to talk about grinders, makita grinders. So, as you can see on the table here, I've got 3 grinders. Now then, this one is my new one. Can you just tilt your camera? This one's my new one, my 40 volt Max XGT. And this one is, I've had one of these before, but this one's actually being sold as we speak, and this one is one I've just bought. So let's get involved and we'll go and talk about one at a time. Okay, hang on, cheers. Now this model here is a DGA 452. Now then, this model has been around 4 years. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think the first one of these I had was 12 years ago. So, and this was, in my opinion, one of the first good cordless grinders. So this is an 18 volt grinder, 150mm discs it takes, and it's a good machine. If you're doing some little work, it's actually pretty good. It's very light, and I'm going to go into all the differences more in a minute. But if you're starting out and you're cutting some little rods or little bolts, this is going to be just the thing for you. I think soon they're going to be discontinuing this, because there's probably an updated, little bit of an updated version of this one, because this is quite old. I bought this off eBay for 25 quid. Blooming heck, check this, the mess on this. This was off eBay for £25, not working. This looks like it's been in a cement mixer. As you can see, it's in a right mess. If you turn it over to the other side, it's got a big cut in it. So it's been grinded. So there we go. What goes wrong with this kind of grinder if you're thinking of getting one or you've got one? Same old thing. Same old thing. If you have a power tool and you run it really, really hot, let's say you're on a job and you're cutting something, probably a bar too thick, probably shouldn't have cut it, these things get really hot in this area here where the brushes are. So what happens then is you think, right, it's hot, I'm going to stop and let it cool down. But you're in the middle of summer and you don't. Next thing is a funny plasticky smell, and it all melts in here. All the brushes melt into the plastic. There's like a plastic casing that holds the brushes in, and under here there's like a plastic cap, and it all melts and then it packs in. And then you have to get a new brush. It's not just new brushes, but you have to get a whole new plastic cage for the brushes. So if you've got one of these grinders or thinking of getting one, they're very good, but don't run it hot. Just let it cool down. Bloody hell, you'll have to wait. If you don't, it will burn the bushes out, and it'll burn all the cage that holds the bush in. But don't worry, because online on eBay, I actually went and bought a new makita sort of cage for the brushes, new brushes, and the new plastic caps for that, for this. Give it a good scrub up, and it's as good as new. These ones, now then, this one has got what they call a toggle switch here. Now, I don't like toggle switches, but this model only comes with a toggle switch, so you can see, just turn it on like that. Now this one, I know, sounds a bit like a load of bricks in a cement mixer. Because it's old, it's okay, I'm old. I rattle and shake a bit, so, but I'll go into why I bought that in a minute, because I haven't owned one of these for years now. So, there we go. Now this is the one, this is the grinder I had before I got my new 40 volt one. This is a brushless motor, 125mm blade. As you can see, this one will take a 115mm size blade, and this one is 125mm. So you can get a deeper cutting depth. It's a whole different machine. Oh, they're both 18 volts, but with this being brushless, it's probably a third better. It'll cut better, and I don't know, it's a bit of a beast, but as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger. So, going on thing, every job you do, you've got to have a tool for a specific job. Now, if you're doing little jobs, you'll probably be all right with that one. If you're doing medium jobs, medium size, a little bit of industrial, I'd say this is the one. This is an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. It's got a little bit of a slow start, which is, you know, and then, but it's absolutely amazing. But to be honest with you, there's a fault with this one I've noticed over the years. The switch goes a bit dodgy, and I've sussed out how to fix it. So anyway, this one's going. I'm selling this one. So there's them two, and this is my new big bad boy. This is a 40 volt max XGT. The same again as this one, 125mm wheel, and this one is an absolute monster. This is like having a mains angle grinder, but it's, again, look at the size, let's have a look at the sizing. Everything's got big. So, look at that. Now then, the other day, I was doing a job, putting a shower mixer, an inset shower mixer into a tiled wall, and I had to cut a circle out of the tiled wall, out of the tiles. So, the only grinder I had was this one. So I was trying to nick like the tile and make a circular, you know, obviously with a diamond disc on it. And I thought, it's too big. It's too heavy for a little fiddly job. Hence, I bought this, one of these old ones again. So if I'm doing a little fiddly job, it's just a job it. I'm not saying this one is twice as weight, but this one is probably a good third heavier than this one. So all three of them are brilliant machines. This one is kind of like old, but this one is really old now. So still, a lot of people use these and they go for an absolute bloody fortune on eBay still. Even a knackered one will go for 50 quid. So if you're going to buy a new one of them, let's say you can still buy there, they're about 100 quid. This one is about 130 quid. Just the body, no batteries. And this bad boy is about 180 quid just for the body of it. But if you're doing a bit of work, like what I mean is, if you're doing a little bit of light sort of work on steel work, or you're doing if you have to cut some really big angle iron or bolts or whatever, I've got the big range. Well, that one's being sold, but I can have a little grinder for little jobs and a big grinder for big jobs. And if I'm going to say to you, should I, you know, if people are asking me, should I buy a 115 blade grinder? If you want to get this Makita grinder, it only comes with 115 blade. That's the only one you can get. But the brushless Makita 18 volts, you can get this one with a 115 blade. But don't get it. That's my opinion. Just get the big one, so you can cut more. So, and if you really want the power, oh hang on, I'm getting mixed up. That's the 18 volt one. So if you really want the power, get the new 40 volt max grinder. But the only thing I don't like about this new one is it doesn't stand up. See that? They all stand up. Quite like that. Wonder why they put that on a bit of an angle. Don't know. But there we go. Have you learnt anything? I don't know. But I've been around the bloody block a bit, so Makita is shit hot stuff. Right, I'm gonna say this again. Goggles. Now I know you think these young lads watching and thinking they're invincible and nothing's ever gonna happen to them. But with the invention of these really, really thin cutting blades, don't get me wrong, they're absolutely amazing at cutting. But can you see that? Flexing that. These have a habit of when they get caught or they turn a bit funny, they disintegrate. So where do you think them bits of blade could go? Well, they could go in your eye. So, please, always wear goggles. It's not worth it. You've only got two little peepers. Two! It'd be bloody awful if you lost one. Imagine if you lost two. Just unimaginable. So if I see a young lad and they're grinding, I've seen it a million times, right, that they've got no bloody guard on with these discs. And I say, whoa, 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 stop. You're going to that blade's going to disintegrate. Yeah, I'll be all right, I'll be all right. No, you fucking won't. I'm not having it. Goggles. You don't have to be cool. Oh yeah, I don't need the goggles. Now, there's a good little tip for you. If you're grinding, make sure you have your goggles with you. Goggles are always with me when I'm grinding. If they're in the van, I might be tempted to go, I've got to go and get the goggles from the van. I'm only cutting this little bar. I'm only just doing one cut. No, if you get your grinder out of the van, you make sure you have your goggles with you. So they're there. So you've got no fucking excuses. You've only got one pair of eyes. And fucking I like to see. So anyway, rant over, goggles on. If you're grinding. Right, we're on site. Well, actually, we're not on site, actually. We're in the garden. So, sorry about the mess. Look at this. Check this out. Come on. We're making a goldfish swimming pool. So that's what that is. So this area here is going to be a stream going into another pond. Anyway, I digress. Back to the job in hand. Back off. Grinders. So I want to show you one quick thing about this grinder. When you first get it, or when I first got it, if you put too much pressure on the disc, it actually cuts out. But that's a safety thing. Now what happens is this, like a red flashing light in there, and the actual machine will stop. So sometimes people have got frustrated. They say, oh, I can't do my grinding because it keeps on stopping. It has to do that. Because if you're pressing on too hard, it's going to knacker. It's going to burn the drill out, not burn the grinder out. So come on. Come on. Right. This is the thing about having goggles. When you have them on the top of your head and you're talking to all your thousands of YouTube fans, your goggles get steamed up. But anyway, there we go. So come in a little bit and we'll try and get this grinder to cut out a little bit. So see that? No, it's not broken. It's not broken. It looks like the kind of thing you have on an Xbox, don't you? So it tell your Xbox or your PlayStation it's knackered, but no. It's just stopped you burning the drill out. So turn it off again. And you're good to go. As long as you don't put too much pressure on, you're all right. Right. Another thing we're going to talk about, a cool little thing, is these quick release disc changers. So, how do they work? Well, I don't fucking know. Anyway, now I'm going to tell you, I think I know how it works. So, we'll put a sanding disc on, like that. Now then, when you get I think these are about 10 quid. They're absolutely fantastic. So what you need to do is just run them up. You press the little button at the back so it locks the wheel. And you just need to do that like hand tight. And then this little flap, you fold that down. And what that does, it puts a spring down and it actually clamps this bit onto the actual disc or grinding disc. So it's a fantastic, it's better than having a spanner. It's better than having you have a locking spanner and you can't find the bloody spanner. Brilliant bit of kit. So if you have a grinder, you've got to get one of them. So on about having a small handy tool that you can use in one hand and the toggle switch, what this grinder is good for, hang on, I'm all bloody thing again, is if you're doing a little bit of, you've got a burr on the edge of it, or you just need to smooth this off, it's quite handy bit of kit. I tell you what, oh, I love that little grinder. Oh, no wonder they're so expensive on eBay, and they still make them after 15 years. You can still buy these brand new. Anyway, let's talk about my new grinder, and more specifically, the fact, what I said about here, is not dragging dust into the body. So, this here is a filter, and what that does, it's on filters on both sides, and that lets air into the machine, and it helps keep the motor cool, which is really important. So if you're doing steel cutting or something, these will be okay. But if you're doing a bit of wet, dry tile cutting, or I'm going to cut this little bit of concrete here, always give these a blowout, because if they get clogged up here, what that means is the tool will overheat there. So the other thing is, right, I'm going to do a little bit of grinding here. Now I've said, I'm contradicting myself here a little bit, because I said to you, don't do too much dry grinding on concrete or tiles with a tool like this, because the dust gets into it. But if you do a little bit, that's fine. But I'll show you why that happens. So I'll do a little bit of grinding here. Okay. Right then, that was only for 5 seconds. Apart from getting all my tool absolutely shit up, all the dust comes off the diamond disc, it goes this way, and where's it going to get dragged into with the air it needs to cool the motor? Through the filters. So, if you're doing a little bit of dry concrete cutting or tile cutting, keep these cleaned. Do a little bit of it, and then clean these up. Right, I need to apologise unreservedly, because yes, I did some concrete cutting with goggles on, which is very good, but what did I forget? Masks. Now then, you might think you're invincible and your lungs are going to last forever. No, they're not. If you get your lungs filled with concrete dust and sandstone dust, it's going to knack you up. So I know it's boring, but always put your mask on, even if it does fog your goggles up. So mask on, goggles on. Oh, I hate having my tools like this. Anyway, this is a fantastic grinder. Like I said, the difference in, if I was using this a lot, I'd probably put the handle on it. I'd use it with 2 hands. And this one is for smaller jobs. So, okay. Okay. Thanks for watching. Random is rad. Don't forget your goggles. Rock on.